Imagine this. You're a hard-working American who's paid into Social Security your whole life, counting on those monthly benefits to keep the lights on and food on the table, and suddenly, without much fanfare, the government flips a switch that lets them peek directly into your bank account, scanning every deposit, every withdrawal, every little fluctuation that could jeopardize your lifeline. It's happening right now, as of August 2025. And if you're one of the millions relying on Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, this could hit you like a freight train, potentially freezing your payments or sparking investigations that drag on for months. But don't panic just yet. I'm here to break it all down, step by step, so you can see what's really going on, why it's urgent, and what you need to do to protect yourself and your family before it's too late. Let's start at the beginning, because this didn't come out of thin air. It's the latest move in a long battle against fraud that's been brewing in the Social Security Administration for years. The policy in question is something called Emergency Message 25046, or EM 25046 for short, issued by the SSA and kicking in on August 1st, 2025. In simple terms, this rule gives the Social Security folks expanded access to check your bank accounts automatically if you're receiving SSI benefits. We're talking real-time monitoring or at least periodic sweeps of your financial records to make sure you're not hiding assets that could disqualify you from the program. SSI isn't like regular Social Security retirement benefits. It's a needs-based safety net for folks with disabilities, low income, or limited resources. And there's a strict cap on what you can have in the bank. Just $2,000 for an individual or $3,000 for a couple. Go over that, even by a dime, and poof, your benefits will be reduced or cut off entirely. Before this rule, the SSA relied mostly on self-reported info from beneficiaries, spot checks, or tips, but now they're stepping it up with direct access to your banking data, pulling from sources like financial institutions or third-party databases to verify everything on the spot. Think about how this plays out in real life for someone like a disabled veteran in his 50s, living on a fixed income in a small town in Ohio. He's been getting SSI to cover basics since an injury sidelined him from work, and he's careful with his money. Maybe he socks away a few extra bucks from a family gift or a small side gig to handle emergencies. Under the old system, as long as he reported honestly on his annual reviews, things might slide by without issue. But now, with EM 25046 in effect, the SSA could flag an unexpected deposit automatically, say from selling an old car for $1,500, and boom, his account gets scrutinized. If that pushes him over the asset limit, even temporarily, he might get a letter demanding explanations, or worse, his next check gets held up while they investigate. It's not about Big Brother watching every coffee run. It's targeted at ensuring eligibility, but the ripple effects can feel invasive and stressful, especially when you're already scraping by. This all started rolling out quietly on August 1st, 2025, right in the heat of summer when folks are more focused on barbecues than bureaucratic memos. The SSA didn't blast across headlines. They released it as an internal emergency message to their staff. But word spread through financial advisors, advocacy groups, and online forums as people started piecing it together. By mid-August, with the current date being the 14th, we're already seeing the first waves of confusion and concern bubbling up. If you're on SSI, this affects you immediately. The checks are happening now for new applicants and ongoing recipients alike. But here's where the suspense builds. Who exactly is in the crosshairs? Primarily, it's the roughly 8 million Americans on SSI, including disabled adults, children with special needs, and low-income seniors who qualify for this extra help beyond regular Social Security. If you're just on standard retirement benefits or Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, you're not directly hit yet, but don't breathe too easy. Experts are whispering that this could be a testing ground for broader rollouts. The SSA has been under pressure to tighten up across all programs, and with fraud estimates running into billions annually, it's not hard to see this creeping into other areas. So, how does this whole thing work in practice? It's not like SSA agents are logging into your online banking app every morning, though that image might keep you up at night. Instead, they've ramped up partnerships with banks and data aggregators, using automated systems to cross-reference your reported income and assets against what's actually in your accounts. When you sign up for SSI or go through a redetermination process, you already can sense some level of verification. But EM 25046 supercharges that by allowing more frequent and direct pulls of data. For example, if your bank shows a balance creeping toward that $2,000 limit, or there's an unexplained influx of cash, the system flags it and SSA staff follow up. They might request statements, explanations, or even freeze benefits until it's sorted. It's all done through secure channels to comply with privacy laws like the Privacy Act. But the key shift is from reactive checks, waiting for red flags, to proactive monitoring. And for those still clinging to paper checks, there's an added layer. The government is phasing them out entirely by September 30th, 2025, pushing everyone toward direct deposit or prepaid debit cards, which ties right back into bank account scrutiny because now your financial setup is front and center. Why introduce this now? It's all about cracking down on waste and fraud in a system that's straining under its own weight. The SSA has been sounding alarms for years about overpayments. Last year alone, they clawed back billions from folks who accidentally or intentionally went over asset limits. With the national debt soaring and politicians on both sides demanding accountability, this rule is framed as a smart fix to protect taxpayer dollars and ensure benefits go to those who truly need them. Think of the real-world scandals that fueled this. Cases where beneficiaries had lottery winnings or inheritance in separate accounts, collecting SSI while sitting on thousands. Or the organized fraud rings that gamed the system, costing us all in higher taxes or strained resources. By automating bank checks, the SSA aims to catch these early, reduce errors, and keep the program solvent for future generations. It's a bold step toward efficiency, but it ramps up the tension for honest folks who might get caught in the net over a simple misunderstanding, like a temporary loan from a relative showing up as an asset. Yet, as confident as the government sounds about this, there are real risks lurking that could turn this into a nightmare for vulnerable Americans. Privacy is the big one. Handing over access to your bank data feels like a slippery slope, even if it's limited to SSI for now. What if a data breach exposes your info, or hackers target these systems? We've seen it happen with other federal databases, and the fallout could be devastating, leading to identity theft or financial ruin. Then there's the error factor. Automated systems aren't perfect. Imagine a widow in Florida on SSI whose joint account with her late husband still shows old balances. The system might misread it as excess resources, triggering a benefit suspension that leaves her without groceries for weeks while she appeals. Appeals can take months, and during that time, you're on your own, building emotional strain and financial desperation. Low-income folks often don't have lawyers or advocates to navigate this, so innocent errors could disproportionately hit the poorest among us. And let's not forget the chilling effect. Some might avoid saving altogether, fearing scrutiny, which undermines financial stability in the long run. Looking ahead, the urgency ramps up because this could expand faster than you think. Right now, it's SSI specific, but with a push toward all electronic payments by late September 2025, no more paper checks for anyone. The infrastructure is in place to broaden these checks. SSDI and retirement benefits aren't needs-based like SSI, so asset limits don't apply. But the SSA could start verifying income more aggressively or cross-checking for unreported work. Lawmakers are already debating reforms to shore up Social Security's trust fund, projected to run dry by the mid-2030s, and enhanced monitoring might be part of that package. If fraud numbers don't drop, or if budget hawks in Congress demand more, we could see this rolled out to all 70 million Social Security recipients within a few years. Picture a future where your regular retirement check gets delayed because an algorithm spots something off in your savings. It's not science fiction. It's the logical next step if this pilot succeeds. That's why staying informed matters more than ever. Ignorance here could cost you your benefits, your peace of mind, or even your home if payments stop abruptly. If you're on SSI, double-check your assets today. Review your bank statements. Report any changes promptly to the SSA app or website, and consider consulting a local legal aid office for free advice on eligibility. Keep records of everything, gifts, loans, expenses, to have proof ready if questioned. For everyone else, watch this space. Push your representatives to balance fraud prevention with privacy protections. And prepare for a world where direct deposit is mandatory by getting your banking sorted now. This isn't about scaring you. It's about empowering you to act before small issues snowball into crises. We've seen government programs evolve quickly, and with economic pressures mounting, the time to get ahead is right this minute. Folks, this new Social Security bank account check policy via EM 25046 is a game changer that's already in motion, affecting SSI recipients with automatic verifications to safeguard the system, but carrying risks like privacy breaches and errors that demand your attention. It started August 1st, works through data pools to enforce asset limits, was introduced to fight fraud, and could expand broader benefits soon. Stay sharp, because your financial security depends on it. If this hit home, smash that like button to show you're with me. Drop a comment below sharing how this might impact you or your loved ones. Subscribe for more no-nonsense breakdowns on policies that affect your wallet, and share this video far and wide, so no one gets blindsided. Don't wait, act now, and let's navigate this together.